Welcome back to Red Hawk Adventures. I'm Chris, and I have some very disappointing news about the Bond edition that I had reserved. So let's dive right into it. This is a really hard update as I'm extremely disappointed in what happened here, and I just figured I'd share with you guys to let you know what happened and what I decided to go from here. As you can probably tell from the title that it's very disappointing for what happened, so let's go ahead and get right into it. A couple things I wanted to kind of go over is a little bit of the history of what's going on with this. So back in September of 21, I called a few dealerships to see who could get the Bond edition with very little luck. I did get fortunate with one of them that I'm not going to name here. I don't think it's worth it, but it was a little out of state, and I figured not a problem. They seemed like a pretty reputable dealership. I didn't have any issues. I talked to the guy on the phone there, and I was able to actually get one from him. I gave him my deposit, which was a non-refundable, which didn't come up a little later, but yeah, I got an email confirming it, saying, hey, I had a Bond edition reserved, there's one for me. I even have the email stating, I have the deposit, they'll let me know as updates come along, anything like that. So I was super excited. That's when I started doing some of the YouTube video stuff, which shortly before all this, and then I was expecting to have the bike a little sooner, but then I figured I'd wait to get something I really wanted. So I was really excited to get this Bond edition in. However, I haven't got any updates since basically, I think November was the last time I heard something. In November, I heard that there was a new sales manager or a new salesperson that's taken over because the previous guy left. So I'm like, okay, great. He's going to take over. He gave me a call. He sent me an email. I'm like, great. He knows I have it. He's taking it over. Not a problem. So that was pretty cool. Nothing really big noteworthy there. But then come around mid-March, I decided I haven't heard anything since about November. I figured let's get an update, see what's going on with this. Maybe they've heard something. Maybe they have any new updated dates from Triumph or updates about the bike, if they're adding anything like that. So I just sent them a quick email. Hey, I had the Bond edition reserved. I just was reaching out, see if you guys had any updates. And the next day, I got an email back from a sales manager, and he said, I tried calling you, your phone number's not working. Could you just give me a call when you have a chance? I wanted to talk to you about your bike. And I was like, okay. Nothing too crazy. I just figured that's probably someone new, wanted to get to know me. It's pretty typical. So I called him that day, and he was telling me they don't have a reservation for him. And I had this reservation for 6 months. It was incredibly frustrated, but try to stay calm. I don't like to get upset with people on the phone because who knows what's going on. Maybe it's a mistake, something like that. So I'm just like explaining to him about the email I have, that I put a deposit down, and I had one reserved, and he proceeded to talk to me and tell me that they don't have anything. They don't have any bike reserved for me. They don't know what's going on, and asked me to forward the email I got. And then he proceeded to talk to me about how it's impossible to get the Bond editions at this point, and you needed to have a reservation like from the beginning because they were all sold out pretty quickly. And that kind of irked me a little bit because I'm like, yes, that's why I put a deposit down 6 months ago, the week it came out, so I could get one. That was the entire point of doing this back in September when it was released. So he just basically like, yeah, I understand that, it's going to be impossible to get one at this point. I really hate to tell you that, but, we can work on getting your deposit back. Send me the email and your receipt or whatever you have. So I sent him the original email I had. I sent him my statement that had the transaction. So he could see all that, and he's like, great, I got it. I'll work on it tomorrow and see what we can do. The next day I had off work, so I'm like, well, if I'm not going to get that one, I might as well go around and take a look at some bikes. So I stopped at the Harley dealership near me just because they're close. I figured, why not, let's see what they have. Just for fun, and then I was going to head over to Triumph in Seattle and see what options they had available. So shortly before I get to Triumph to Seattle, I get a call from them, and he's like, "Hey, I got some great news. We have a good chance to get one for you." I'm like, kind of hesitant to say great because the last call didn't go very well. And he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Well, you said they're impossible to get. Now you're telling me you can get one, and at this point, I don't know if you even could." And he's like, "Well, we have some other dealerships that have some reservations. I want to make sure that they still have them on hold, and if we can possibly get one." I was like, "Well, that's great. Give me an update as soon as you can." He's like, "Well, I'll probably know in a couple days, Monday at the latest." And I'm like, "Okay, perfect. Give me a call by Wednesday, no later, and we'll figure out what's going on and what our next steps are." He's like, "Perfect, we'll do that." He didn't end up calling me, but I just figured I'd go ahead and give him a call at the end of my workday. And he's like, "Oh yeah, let me go talk to my sales rep real quick and see." I didn't get an update from him, but let me see what he says. So he calls me back and just lets me know they tried some other dealerships, like he said, but no one could give it up. They said they were locked down, and none of them were pulled back, or they wanted to pull out of the reservation. So that's about what I figured. I was already kind of disappointed at that point. So I decided to go ahead and get my deposit back from them. Luckily, they were really nice about that. They took care of it right away. I might have some issues with the bank on that, but that's a completely different story. So hopefully I'll get that resolved soon. But I've been on hold for this for 6 months, and it's so disappointing to be this far in waiting for a bike when I could have got one 6 months ago if I really wanted to. But I was waiting for this one. So it's just extremely disappointing. I don't know any other way to say it. I'm not entirely upset with the dealership. It's wrong the way that this went down, and I got the short end of the stick. I did tell them that. I told them, it's like, this is very disappointing. You guys really need to lock this down and make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. I'm trying to be as patient as I can, even though I'm extremely upset, but this shouldn't ever happen. And he agreed. He seemed nice enough, the latest guy I was talking to, but who knows? It sounds like there's been a lot of things going on at that dealership that I didn't really get the full backstory to, but yeah, it kind of would explain a little bit of this, maybe missing my deposit, or the previous person didn't actually get a reservation. I don't know really what happened with it. I am kind of keeping an eye on this dealership to make sure that they don't get one in. If they get one in, I'm really going to be upset because that should have been mine. But I don't even think, even if they do get in, I'm not even going to fight to try to get it, because I'm thinking the better option at this point is just look around, figure out what else is out there. Maybe some updates have changed or something like that. I might still go with the Tiger and get the standard one. It's still a great bike, and it's everything I want in a venture bike or for this camping, so I think that's fine. But I'm going to kind of see what else is out there. There might be some updates or something. I do know in the 22 model, the Pan Am, they've updated a few things. I'm trying to look into that, see if that's an option again. I know that's the other one I was really debating on. So who knows? But there's also some cheaper bikes around as well. I've been thinking about like the Harley Roadster is a bike I wanted for a while. It's a lot cheaper. I could get into a cheaper bike, and well, they should still be fun, but I can do some videos, have some enjoyment. I won't be able to do the camping as well on it. I could probably make it work, but we'll have to see on that. So who knows? So yeah, at this point I'm out of a motorcycle. So I'm going to head out soon and do some test drives. There's a couple roadsters in the area. There's the Triumph to Seattle I'm going to head down to again, and maybe try to get a Tiger, see if they have one coming in. When I went to stop by there that other day, they said they have one coming in at the end of March, so that means maybe April. We'll see. That might be a good option. So hopefully by the end of April, I'll have a bike. We'll see. So in the next one, I'm going to go ahead and do some test riding of some motorcycles and see what's out there. I'm hoping to get those on footage so we can actually have some on the bike footage after so long. I know you guys are looking forward to it. Since all of these have been talking head videos, it's a lot of fun to kind of get some of this detail, but I know you guys are looking forward to the motorcycles and really getting out there on the road and seeing how they work. So until next time, make sure you guys keep exploring, have fun, and most of all, be safe.
Have fun.
I'll try.